Hey, welcome to Theology Thursday. This is Pastor Matt, and today we're talking about... so we're going to look at that by looking at John chapter 15, verses 9 through 17. I'll be preaching on that this Sunday. Lots of fun stuff in this passage. So much good stuff. I'm going to talk about just this one little thing here in this one, but let's read this. So verse 9 through 17, Jesus is talking to the disciples prior to him being arrested and all that jazz. And he says, "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide or remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another." This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing, but I have called you friends, for all that I've heard from my Father I've made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I command you, so that you will love one another. The big key line in this is verse 12 and 13. Jesus defines what love is, the highest form of love, in verse 13, and he gives the commandment in verse 12. This is what I want you to do. I want you to act like this towards each other. I want you to love by giving yourself up for each other. Now, compare that with how we often think about love today. You know, when we talk about love in the world today, and I don't mean the world out there, I mean like me and you and just humanity. We talk about love, it is almost kind of this undefinable affection that is out there. I fell in love. I fell into this pit, and boy, this was just wonderful in here. Okay. I want you to think about love like this. Think about it on a spectrum from like greater than to less than. Okay. So at the highest form of love, you have the idea of love that Jesus is talking about right here, of someone who lays down their life for the ones that they love. Okay. So the love is primarily, in that sense, self-giving, self-emptying towards another person. That's the highest form of love. There is no greater love than this. Okay. And then lower than that is kind of the I scratch your back, you scratch my back love. It's that mutual care sort of thing. And this is like the normal thing that we think of for marriages and like compatibility in that way. Friendships, that's often this aspect of love here where it just works out best for both of you if you are together, if you have this partnership, okay? But here at that level of love, it's not entirely self-giving. It's self-giving and receiving, okay? So you have that. It's a lower level of love. And lower than that is the Taco Bell love, where I love what Taco Bell does for me. I give them money and they give me kind of food. And it makes me feel happy inside. And then it doesn't. But I enjoy it enough that I give them something so that I get it back, right? And there is some like mutuality there. But when I think about Taco Bell, I'm not thinking about how I can benefit them. I'm thinking about how I can benefit myself. I enjoy them. I use them to make me happy, okay? That's like the lowest level of love, if we can still call it that. And then where you get to where there is no love at all is not hate. That's actually not at all having to do with love right here. Hate is actually, if we would say it, it's the opposite of love in a different way. It is, say, if I love truth, I hate lies. If I love life, I hate death. Okay. So it's opposite in that way, but not in quality here. Okay. The opposite of the quality of love, the character of Christian love, it's actually apathy. It's indifference. It's saying, I think of you so little. I don't think of you. I don't care about you. And so why would I give myself for you? I just don't even care about you. Okay. That's as far on the other end of the spectrum of the self-sacrificing love that there is. Okay. So think about it in those terms. Now let's go back to this passage here. Let's put this in the context of what Jesus is about to do. Jesus is about to go to the cross. Jesus is about to show this great love for his loves, the people that he cares about. He is going to die for them. He is going to give himself up for them. That is what love is, okay? Just full expression of love. That's what it means for a Christian. To love is to give themselves up for another person or another thing. Now, what does it mean for a Christian to fall out of love then? Well, for a Christian to fall out of love is to go against verse 12. Jesus says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." He is not leaving an open door for us to just say, boy, I forgot that you existed, and this is so nice, calm, quiet, and wonderful now that you're out of my life. That's not allowable for a Christian. A Christian is to love. Even when there is divorce that needs to happen, even when there is like a breakup that needs to happen, the Christian is still called to love that person. And that can be complicated as far as how it all works out, like how you, if a relationship no longer is one where you can live in trust with that person, how you can still love and forgive that person. That's more kind of like individual situations. We could talk about that. But the commandment that Jesus gives us is to love as he loved us. And he doesn't qualify it. He doesn't say, as long as they're like really cool people and they're really nice, then you should make sure that you love them as I loved you. No, the assumption is that we would need love, and that's why he loved us. Other people are going to need love, and that's why we love them. Not because they're worthy of it, but because they need it. This is like one of the biggest areas that Christians get wrong along with the rest of society. You know, we think about love as this thing that we can get for ourselves, this resource to acquire. I'm going to love this person because they make me happy. And really, like, the focus needs to be on what we do for other people, what we can do for other people. This really worked out well. It is working out well for me. Julia and I have been married for almost 10 years. And the thing that like kind of like finally drove me over the cliff of asking her out on a date and eventually marrying her was like, I got kind of ticked off that she, like, I could see that a husband would be really good for her and she wanted one, but no one was stepping up to that task. And I thought, it's like, well, I think I've grown enough where I could maybe be that. Like maybe I could be her husband and I could be that person who's going to tell her that she's beautiful all the time and like, and show her love and like care for her, provide for her and all that. Like, and I knew like, boy, I really need a wife. And I think she could probably be that for me. Like, it's like, there's definitely that mutual care component there, but the focus, like the highest level that like brought me to actually pull that trigger, it was this Christian notion of love. It's this notion that other people need care and you're to provide that. The Christian is to be someone who is not focused on themselves and their own resources, but instead to be, focus on what they can do for others. So that's what love is. And that's what the church is called to give to a world that desperately needs it. And please note that we have received this in Jesus. We aren't loving with no hope of ever being loved. No, we have been so loved by Jesus, and out of that rich love, we're able to love others. And we're going to talk a lot more about that on Sunday. But that's it for Theology Thursday. And my goodness, my love Sven is saying I need to stop talking. So I will get back to him. So anyways, okay. All right. Bye now.